took a quick shower, got a little hydration, and grabbed my other on my main phone, not my backup phone. Thought, what the heck, let's do another one of these really quick. Let's take advantage, rather than waiting on phones to charge and all that, let's take advantage of the fact that it's early enough in the morning, we got a good signal, we got a good start to the day. I'll rotate through phones a little bit, right? And make it happen. Get in and just make it happen, make it work. So, I want to get a whoosh this morning. Well, it won't happen this morning. I'm going to push harder though. I didn't lose any weight this week, and as of this morning, even after that walk, I'm still up a little bit. So again, keeping in mind I've added more electrolytes, added creatine this week, so it may be stopping a little bit of a swoosh. So we just go harder in the cardio, right? We just go harder in the cardio, keep the diet tight, and just work in more fasted cardio. Try to get through that body fat. But my waist got smaller in spite of the fact that I didn't drop any weight this week yet. My waist has gotten a hair smaller, and I'm using my metrics to check it, my weight belts. So I'll take the win there. But yeah, so let's get as much of the walking in early as possible, especially since I have 2 days off from training. We trained 5 days this week. Like I said in the vlogs, I'm going to go to full body just 3 days a week for the rest of the cut. And then I'm going to use that, those same days to just get extra cardio in. Particularly that morning cardio, we get it all in fasted. So we keep stripping through some body fat. And I feel like 3 full body workouts a week will retain all of my muscle on the cut. And then I can just cardio like crazy. Continue to just get the list cardio, especially the fasted cardio. But we'll see if this one picks up like they have been doing in a lot of these lives. I'm just going to do this one straight on YouTube. And I may not have to run it super long. The other phone will be well over 100% pretty quick. I'm just hoping I can keep a good signal. But both my phones should be good for that, though it is showing 1 bar. It's only 7 a.m. There it goes. That's a dead zone almost right there, that part of my street, and there's no way I can get further out in the neighborhood without going through there. For some reason though, signal is really weak at that little street corner. But we're getting likes already, so it's starting off better than the last one. So yeah, like I said, grabbed my main phone while the other phone charges, and then I don't have to worry about the phone dying. All right, so if I throw one in the middle like this, I can stack more of these in without the phones getting too low on batteries. Seems like streaming like this pulls a ridiculous amount of battery charge. Like I can literally run a phone to 0, an iPhone, just doing walking streams with the cardio. So hopefully some of the other people come back in. We had some regulars in here. And we'll see if we get the same thing. Man, that last one we started before sunup, but that ran like an hour, over an hour and 10 minutes. The whole Facebook one, it was completely dark, and then I hopped over to the tube and the sun came up midway through the stream. Now the sun is up, morning's in full effect, and we're just gonna get all this done. I don't know that I'm going to talk a lot till more people get in here, because I feel like I'm just talking about nothing. Let's get some conversations going. But otherwise, it's just that cardio life, cut. And again, as I've realized, I need to go pretty low. I need to go well under 200 pounds. And that's a decision I made once I got into this cut and I started thinking about it. Realistically, again, I turned 49 this year, coming up on 50. I don't need to be 200 pounds when I reach 50 years old. I need to be under that. We got to think about longevity. No reason to carry that sort of body weight. So I get annoyed. I get some of the dudes who come in here, some of the regulars on my channel, talking about, oh, there's no reason for a man to go under 15% body fat, and they're talking about being 260. I'm like, dude, you get older, you're going to regret that, right? Health is wealth, you know, and in my case, the cardiovascular disease that runs in my family, You know, I got to stay on top of all this. Diet has to be perfect, right? We need good conditioning. Obviously, we need strength and muscle. You know, we have to think of those things. So silly stuff like carnivore diet has to go away. Alan says, why are you worried about being more than... Hey, Alan, but it won't be mostly muscle. I mean, how do I put this? So still being above 200 pounds, Alan, and it still means I'm carrying extra body fat. So I could have the same amount of muscle I have now and be under 200 pounds. Does that make sense? So how's that different? It's like more muscle is better. I don't think you understand. I'm not talking about getting smaller. I'm talking about getting leaner. I don't know what my body fat percentage is, but realistically, I could go under 10% body fat and still keep my muscle, right? So that's kind of the point. I mean, and let's be fair. Let's really look at health. Let's set aside any biases we have. Do you really think, even if they're lean, that a 50-something-year-old man should be walking around over 200 pounds? Do you really and truly think that's healthy? Yes, muscle mass helps with a ton of health markers. But keep in mind, that's still not... We remember the conversations about drug-free, like you can't get big enough drug-free to be a problem. Do you really think that's possible drug-free? Right? For an average height guy. So again, we come back over to, you know, looking at health. There's still an impact to be said for things like left ventricular hypertrophy. Right? No, I don't think I'd have to lose a lot of muscle. So I'm 211 right now. So to be under 200 pounds is 12 pounds. You don't think I have 12 pounds of body fat to lose? Right? 12 pounds, dude. So I'm 211. So do some math. So let's throw out a number. Let's say you said I'm lean. Let's say I'm 15% body fat. All right? Let's just throw a random number out then, since we don't know. So how much fat do I have? Be about 32 pounds of fat. Right? At 15%. So what's 12 pounds taken off that? It would leave 20 pounds of body fat still. Even your neighbor asked whether you have a single ounce. But look at how many other fitness influencers are way leaner than me. Dude, I could easily drop to under 200 without losing any muscle. We're not talking about getting contest rep either. Like, we're just talking about being six-pack lean. Hey, balls, I don't even answer silly stuff like that. All right. And realistically, Ellen, no. I mean, compared to tons of the people I compete with for views, I'm way not anywhere near as lean as them. And I have the ability to be. So, I mean, again, I think you're doing the math wrong. So, if you do that math, and let's assume I'm 15% now. Let's just throw it out there. I'm just picking a number. I'm not saying that's what I am. So at 199, I'd be about 10% body fat. Right? Well, I have no way to do a better angle, dude. I don't know what you guys want me to do. If I do hours of cardio, I'm not going to stand and do that. My shoulders wouldn't be able to handle it. So, you know, right, everyone wants me to do this, right? Just be silly. Why would we do that? So Alan, I mean, to look at it from that perspective. So even on that math, that's only 10% body fat. That's considered to be in the healthy range, even medically. So no, you gotta rethink that math. And that's still roid big, by the way. Keep that in mind. 199 at 10% body fat for a 5'9" guy is steroid big. That's still not natural big. Hey, Jason, better leverages may make lifts easier. Hey, machine. No, it doesn't. Hey, machine, then how come in the research it doesn't happen? Why do the people who bulk faster gain muscle at the same rate? So let's set aside, you're arguing hypotheticals, and I've explained this is the why, and it's why it doesn't do it. So, and then you disagree with that. I'm like, okay, but then when they study it, what happens? When studies have looked at 10% calorie surpluses versus just like 50 calorie surpluses, does the 10% surplus cause any more muscle gain? No. Muscle growth is the same, you just get more fat. Getting 200 pounds is good and hard enough. And well, God, I'm gonna go under 200. 200 needs to be my upper threshold. I basically want to get to where I set an upper cap on my weight at like 199. I need to stay under 200 pounds. Realistically, because of my family history, would just be wise at this point. Guys, I'm not 38 anymore, right? Again, a year and a half, I turned 50. I have to think of the longevity. And let's be realistic. Me, with my current size, shredded down to something like 190, we already know that's marketable. Super marketable. So imagine Coach Blaha walking around at 8% body fat and doing a little more arm work. I mean, I think that's super marketable. So realistically, Scott, from a health perspective, I don't ever come down this street. Let's come down a new street. So that's kind of my point. I need to basically set a cap at 199. I need to basically be under 200 pounds and stay there, you know. Hey, machine, you can hypothesize and justify you're getting fat all you want. I'm not going to argue with you. By the way, I think it's pretty much, I realize it's you, machine. You're that clown I keep manning. So I'm just going to ignore you from now on. How much do you think O'Hearn weighs? He's over 50 and must weigh. I don't, right now, you really think Mike is walking around at 250 right now? You want me to estimate what I think Michael Hearn weighs right now? What I see in his current videos? Just a quick guess off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with 200 pounds. I'm not talking about 7 or 8 years ago. Michael Hearn right now, the videos I've seen of him this year, I bet he's 200 pounds, right? He's lean as hell, 200. Got great proportions, great insertions. He's probably 200 pounds, dude. So we kind of come over to that health thing. Even Mike's downsized, right? Yeah, Mike's what, like 55? Something in that range. So for those who are unaware, this machine guy is that same guy who's made dozens of accounts. He screams about being 148. And I've banned him like 150 times now. And then he cries because he got really fat and got body dysmorphia. And then he cut all the way down to the 140s and lost all his gains and keeps basically trying to re-justify getting fat again. He's been doing this for 7 months straight, every day in my streams. So it's this same guy. Whereas the truth is, man, people can just make lean gains. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of you, dude, because you were over here promoting KFC, and then now you're going to use ChatGPT. No. Dude, AI is not a valid source of data. Get in here. I don't need it. Actually, I'm about to get rid of the machine. You guys are just justifying getting fat. Best testosterone dose for sex drive, probably about 200 to 250. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're stacking it with and how E2 is controlled. Maybe up to about 500. 500 is uncomfortable. Like if your E2 is perfect and your 500, your sex drive is at an uncomfortable level. Like you're gonna go several times with the chick without stopping. You're gonna have 3 or 4 rounds. I bet you I could be strong at 190. Hey Scott, if I shredded down to 190 and then focused on maxes, I bet you I would have an elite total straight up. Perfect E2 would be high normal range. The upper end of the reference range. I hate giving numbers because everyone uses a different chart. Look at the reference range on your blood work. The high end of the reference range is perfect. For muscle growth, for sex drive, for health. Right? You want slightly elevated estrogen, but not outside of range. Although, if you're not gyno prone, technically perfect health might even be slightly above average range. Right? Is that a fair statement? Estrogen's extremely cardioprotective. It's also very protective of your tendons. As long as your androgens are high, it's definitely not going to create root issues. What time do you go to bed? I don't have a set time. So let me guess, you guys are asking that so y'all can determine when to send people to my house again to wake me up. Got it. Very early. I really struggle to keep my E2 controlled as anything over 200 milligrams of test. I need to be thrown. That's why I put out personal info, LJ, because I'm not kidding when I say stuff like that. People do stuff like that, literally. Like, so if I give my exact bedtime, I can expect a pizza to be delivered to my house 30 minutes later. So, I really struggle to keep my E2 controlled. That's what he said. But I actually turn my doorbell off at night. It's just because of those things. I turn my doorbell off during live streams too. So I really struggle to keep my E2 controlled at anything over 200 tests. Primo, Aromas, all those things consult that. Yeah, that was a little ankle biter. I got to go back that way though because I don't want to go by the Sweet Eater. Let me go down this other street. Little schnauzer. Yeah, a little schnauzer. It's the small dogs you got to worry. That's the ones who bite you. One of my friends, he's got a dog that bites every one of us every time. We get asked, like, why don't you train your dog better? So just because it's a small dog doesn't mean you can avoid training it. She like bites everybody. She jumps and bites our hands as soon as we come to the door. Every time. It's like, dude, it's not cute. Train your dog better. That's the problem. That's the reason the small dogs are that way. It's bad ownership. It's not necessarily the small dog. It's that they don't train them because they don't think they're dangerous. They don't train them correctly. What numbers? I don't care, Scott. So, again, frame mindset. I have to get lean. Okay. Therefore, I am okay if all my lifts drop to 135, including my deadlift, as long as I get lean. I'll worry about it later. Now, obviously, maintaining strength really, really well. But do you see my mindset? We don't care. I mean, as long as they're 135. So I don't think about that at all because it could derail my mindset. So I literally don't put any thought whatsoever with my strength outcomes at that weight right now. The focus now is retain muscle and strength, try to train my arms more, get leaner, get leaner, get leaner, right? Numbers are only there to maintain muscle mass. Then we worry about strength later when I get to the leanness. Then I'll think about it. And I know you guys want to know, and they're totally valid questions. It's not invalidating your question at all. It is pointing out that I don't think about those things or let them get to my subconscious, right? Yeah, we build the physique, we get lean, get the abs, try to get my arms bigger. Then we worry about strength again later. I don't walk with a weight vest anymore. I used to do it. I've done it on camera hundreds of times. Right now, because it creates too much low back fatigue, core fatigue, all of that while I'm cutting, that I'm doing just straight normal lifts without the weight vest. So I either walk, just normal brisk walking, or we get on the bike. I do both every day, actually. But no, I don't do the weight vest anymore. It's just sitting there collecting dust. But you're definitely new to my channel asking, and that's okay. I mean, I'm getting a lot of new subscribers right now, so you're definitely new. That's okay. It's a valid question. All my regulars are like, you've never seen Coach Blaha walking in a 50-pound vest. You definitely knew, but it's all good. But yeah, Scott, so I'll worry about that later. In fact, I'm probably going to do stuff like literally just do my work sets on bench with 225. I'll just do my work sets on squats 215, just my deadlifts, I'm 405. And I may just work with those weights all the way through the cut, right? Like even the benching yesterday, like we just did 3 sets of 10, all paused. Did like a 3-second pause on the last rep, just while we're cutting. Would you recommend prioritizing? No, it's context dependent. LJD, it all depends on where you are in your journey. So for some people, I might recommend that, for others, no. Oh, you're probably 30%. Well, you need to cut. Yeah, no, straight up. You're 30% body fat, you need to go on a cut right now. You need to go on a cut last year. Why are we waiting this long? Get on it now. Immediately, start your cut today. That is an unhealthy body fat. You're killing yourself every day that you stay there. So you got to get that down. Carol says, hi, Coach. I hit the like. Appreciate it, man. These streams are slower today than the last few days. Maybe it's the early morning, though. All those others, they were train days, so they started them later in the morning. They were getting 500-600 views. One of them got 900, so these have been real slow. Like these ones this morning, I haven't hit any points where I hit 50, 60 viewers. But it's all good. Oh. I think what I'll do here, though, I think with this particular walk, I'm just going to walk it out. So I need to go to the bathroom. Then I'll go home, switch phones, rehydrate, do whatever we got to do, and then just hit another one, right? I want to get as much of the walking as I can done while we can still get a signal in the morning. Because I hate doing the bike inside, but the signal outside kind of dictates that, unfortunately. I don't know, how cool would it be if I got 3 hours though early on the outside before we do the bike? I don't know who Karg is, but no, she's not natural. All right, here's the rule. Are they a fitness person or a professional athlete whose name that you have heard? They're famous enough with a big enough outreach that you know who they are. They're not natural. Next. That's a good rule of thumb. That's a safe rule of thumb. Right? Oh. Well, you guys have to quantify this stuff. Okay, you also know the rule. When you name something and you give me a name, I need to know, is this a person? Is it a video game? Is it a TV show? Is it a food? Is it a sport? If it's a person, I need to know what they do. You guys know the rules. You have to throw qualifiers. Now we're going to actually talk about one of the bodybuilding greats. So this is someone I will know, Tom Platz. Could you be very specific in your question about Tom Platz? Because the question's too vague. I don't want to spend 2 hours talking about Tom Platz. So what are you asking specifically about Tom Platz? His training style was insane, honestly. His legs were the only thing he had that was great, and he trained them excessively. And again, you've got, how do I put it? Some very rare genetics with plenty of drugs allowed him to train legs in a very different way than other people are going to be able to do. But for example, he was known for having a lot of upper body that really lagged behind. He was known for having really bad arms in the era, for example, but his legs were like pretty much the greatest of all time, right? A lot of people, even other professional bodybuilders, noted his training style was just kind of crazy and reckless. But I mean, obviously it built crazy legs, but he used a lot of really bad form, a lot of stuff. He's just lucky he didn't get hurt. But I mean, obviously the guy had crazy good legs, crazy good leg genetics. It was a squat machine, you know. I'm hoping we keep a signal. It's trying to give me a bar. Like, I can't believe it's doing that this early. Oh man. I hope we maintain this signal because I want to be able to do hours of this outside. I do not want to get on the damn bike in the morning to do my cardio. Coach, is Mark Zuckerberg natural? No, Zuckerberg is clearly an alien. All right, next. Next. Oh, by the way, you guys will note, I do it on Facebook too. One of my pet peeves to where I will never take a person seriously when they go use AI to look for an answer and post that answer directly from AI. That is not considered valid. In fact, it's been researched that AI is frequently wrong. AI bases its findings on consensus, general public opinion. It's not necessarily basing answers on data. Like, I've seen AI kick out answers you could totally disprove with meta-analysis. Make sense? So using AI is a source of, how do I put it, is your rebuttal to something, it's generally not going to go well with me. I'm not going to take you seriously. Because again, even the research on AI, and AI has been asked about this too, and a lot of AI and ChatGPT says it will sometimes even give wrong answers just to make the person happy. You know? So, like, I even asked ChatGPT for a summary of myself, and it said a lot of cool, nice things. And it also attributed me with writing a training program that I didn't actually write. And I forgot what it was. It was like one of the other like linear programs. It said that I wrote it. You know, AI is going to mess the world up, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the science. Are we going to call it science? Is it really science-based though? Because a whole lot of the evidence-based guys promote stuff that really isn't based on sound science. On this topic, Coach, is it okay to use AI to make my training program if I don't have money? I wouldn't. I would totally not use AI to write a training program. I wouldn't advise it. I think you guys are way over relying on AI, and it's not as reliable as y'all think it is. Have you seen the newest study they just did on brain scans of people who use too much AI, by the way? I mean, yeah, AI can be a good starting point to get you in the right direction, but you got to dig way deeper than anything it kicks out, you know. I mean, AI is giving me credit for programs I didn't even write, you know. So how accurate is it? You know, although it was actually very complimentary. What I thought was interesting when I had AI do a summary of me once, I was just curious what it would say. None of the crazy trolling or any of that stuff, none of it appeared. Like it literally said nothing about any of that. So that was kind of cool. So those people are their own little niche that even AI didn't even detect or care about. You know, it actually discussed me being a controversial figure because of my position, supplements and training and misinformation. No, that's why I'm up in the cardio. We still haven't whooshed. So I've been 210 for pretty much 6 days now, 211 for 6 days. So we got to still, right? So that could be what's holding me back from the scale tipping down, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. If it's water, we're good. Does a lifting program differ that much when you are cutting? Does the program? Not necessarily. I mean, the same program that got you big will help you stay big while you cut. It's just that you're not going to be able to be aggressive in progressions. So no, like if you're following a specific type of progression system with your program, you're not going to sustain that progression on a cut. No. Makes sense? Do you think some men hold on to chest fat more than other men in other places? Okay, Frederico, let's answer that question. Let's take chest and let's take men out. Do I think human beings as a species have different fat storage patterns of where they hold fat based on the individual person? Provably fact. I don't think I know for an absolute fact, and doctors know it, researchers know it, not just men, all humans have fat storage patterns that differ from person to person, not just their chest, be everywhere. So yes, and there's a genetic and a hormonal component to that. Coach, could a guy build as much muscle as Bigfoot? No. The audio's falling off. Is anyone else hearing the audio falling off? I'm on my main phone, so I'm using my other phone because the other one I have it on the charger while I'm doing this. So it might be. Anyone else having problems hearing, or is it just feed me? Because sometimes some people report a problem and everyone else is like, no, I didn't have any problem. Although it could be getting a weak signal, a little bit, not anymore. Okay, all right. I'm also walking down a new street I never go down. Let me circle back around towards the main street. All right, good, as long as everybody can hear me. My bars went back up too. I was amazed how much battery we got. That's why I switched phones. I'm like, let me just let the other one charge because it was at 60% from a 70-minute walk. So I threw it on the charger and grabbed my main phone. It was worse a few minutes ago, but better now. Okay, good. Well, we're getting a really good signal. That little street wasn't going to drop to 1 bar. That could be why. On the other hand, we are losing viewers though. So I don't know. Maybe they got cut out. If you guys please keep typing so that I know I maintain connection. If you guys don't type anything, I just assume I disconnected, by the way. And I almost want to just restart the stream if that happens. So just an FYI. So guys, give me a continual comment. Like, don't let it go more than a minute without a comment, please, with this many people watching. Because if it goes 3 minutes, I usually just turn it off. I'm like, well, it must have disconnected. I'll just end the stream and restart a new one. It's just not necessarily good. When I used to do 500 push-ups a day, wow, my chest was small but lean, no fat. But do you really think it was the push-ups that did that? Or is it just you were just lean? Typing, there you go, you're good. How much coffee to get a pre-workout equivalent? I don't know. Why do you want a pre-workout? So to get a pre-workout equivalent, keeping in mind, what does a pre-workout do? Creates a buzz, it creates addiction, reduces recovery, right? The recovery hit is so big that it counters the placebo effect in the studies. No weight drop. We're going to keep up in the cardio, get some extra deeper. I suspect strongly, though, the added electrolytes and the creatine stopped me from dropping any weight this week. But I don't want to chance that, so we're just going to double down with the cardio. Going to go back a little harder on it. Track the diet a little closer, making sure I don't eat anything before noon for my break and my fast. We're just going to keep running with it. Because worst case, I've retained 100% of my strength. And so if I did pick up some water from the other stuff and my waist has gotten a little smaller this week, then we're still good if I even speed up the fat loss again. It'd be perfectly fine. I can't recall ever seeing you do push-ups, for example. Yeah, because I don't do push-ups. Push-ups every day, overtraining the chest. Yeah, I can see that. How about a sugar-free energy drink? I don't know. Feed me. I don't know what that is. I'm not saying I've never seen them, but I don't consume foods like that. So I don't know what's in it. Like, I'm not big on that type of culture of let's just eat all this weird refined stuff that we come up with. Just drink black coffee, right? So if you need a pick-me-up, just have some black coffee. Like, yeah. I get it, though. This generation's big on energy drinks. That's y'all's thing. It's like y'all's culture. I don't partake, and so I don't research it. I don't really care. Like, I'm not going to look at what's in it. I just don't have time. I mean, I guess I do. I guess I could make a whole video debunking energy drinks. It's just going to piss people off. Yeah, they're just throwing away money on just processed junk. I mean, do what you want to do, but I don't see the point. You just have coffee if you need some caffeine. I prefer milk than protein shake, right? Hey, Truth Finder. Was I muted that whole time? Because you just asked me that when I just told you I don't know what's in those. I don't drink those things. I don't buy stuff like that. And you just literally asked me. So you missed that whole spiel. So based on what I just said, what do you think the answer to that question is? Be like, Coach probably doesn't even know what that is. Would probably be the best guess. I literally don't even know what that is. You could have just picked a random word. Coach, did you ever drink Fleebin Flobbin Fleep Flop energy drink? I don't know. I've never heard Fleebin Flobbin Fleep Flop Flute Flop energy drink. You could have just made up random words, dude. There's that white one. What's that one in the white can? I was at an airport. I've done that before when I had to get up at 2 a.m. to catch early flights. And then I was having some issues in the airport and needed some caffeine. They didn't have coffee. I have done that before in an airport. That white one. It was a sugar-free white thing with 3 little horns on the front from the devil or something. Yeah, Monster. So I've had that in the airport. It made me feel nauseous. I felt like I was going to puke. It felt really nauseating, really. Coach, is training at 3 a.m. better? The Rock does it. I don't know. Personal preference. Do you enjoy 3 a.m. training? I mean, I was up at 5:20 doing cardio. I think black coffee. I train fasted, Scott. So I don't even honestly think we need food or calories at all pre-workout. I mean, I've done 2 and 3 hour workouts completely fasted just fine. Opinions on training fasted. I've been doing it for a couple years. I think it works phenomenally well. You don't puke. Like, there's no food in your stomach. You don't deal with any blood going there to digest food. You have a clear head. And the main thing is you don't vomit during high rep squats or speed squats or any of that. So it's fantastic. You don't get as nauseated. So I love training fasted. Like you guys see me do 500-pound squats. You've seen me do 600-pound deadlifts fasted, right? Just saying instead of energy drink. Oh, I like training fasted. I mean, if they're wanting a stimulant, coffee works. Plus, coffee's actually got benefits to it. There's antioxidants and polyphenols in coffee. Assuming you filter it, you don't want to do non-filtered coffee. It's carcinogenic. Do you adjust your 1 rep max? No. Why would you? Why can't you hit lifetime PRs when you're fasted? I've hit crazy max lifts fasted. You guys have watched me squat 500. I hit a 500 good morning fasted this year, 500 squat, 505 box squat, right? You guys see me do reps at 315 on the bench. All fasted, it's normal. No, I'm not any weaker. Why would you be? All right. How much foliage you put in the stove? What do you mean the stove? I don't use a stove. I use a coffee pot. I have a Mr. Coffee. Coffee's better, but apples are before. Maybe. I don't know. No. So like yesterday, I ate at noon. I finished my training by 7 a.m. I did like 2.5 hours of fasted cardio, and then I ate breakfast at noon. Coach, is omelet or scrambled eggs better for building muscle? I guess it depends on what's in them. They're really the same thing. They're both just eggs. Why aren't you just putting stuff in it? I don't know. I do my eggs over easy. I usually throw some spinach in my eggs. I do them over easy, then I eat them for my breakfast. So like breakfast is usually, chicken, brown rice, broccoli, avocado, and a couple eggs. And then various other vegetables. I like to throw a little spinach in my over easy eggs. I think over easy is best. They taste better. No, just squat stands are not good. You need a rack. No, I think just squat stands is dangerous. I would never advocate that. Good morning, Jason. What's up, DJ Sneaky Snake? I don't think I've seen you here in a bit. Right now I am, because I was getting too low on fat. So I'm adding healthy fats in. So yeah, I do 2 egg yolks and I do 2 small avocados for my main fat every day, even though I'm very carb dominant. But no, I'm not protein overfeeding. It's just too expensive. It's not worth it. Only way I'd be protein overfeeding is if my people started buying me tons of protein shakes again. It's the only way I'd bother. And no fans have bought me any protein shakes in months, even though I have an Amazon wish list. So I'd think about it if fans were sending me 10 pounds of protein a month. But nobody's been buying any off the Amazon wish list. Just don't feel like spending that money. I'm still paying off my back taxes. I don't do luxuries. The economy's been rough and they raised my taxes this year. So I'm still paying them off. So I don't squander money right now until that's sorted and that has to be resolved. All right. So I'm doing about 200 grams. About 200 grams right now. Ballpark. That's just a ballpark. Can you get the same benefit from low fat and high carbs anyway? The difference is, yeah, it's true. It's a small difference, but you are talking about a significant difference in money to protein overfeed. But it is a small difference, and if a person really wanted to optimize and they don't mind spending an extra couple hundred a month on protein, it's totally workable. But, I'm in a deficit, so it's not protein overfeeding when I'm in a serious deficit. It's mostly just recomp. When you're near maintenance is where it really benefits. In a big deficit, probably not. I could literally go down to 150 grams of protein if I felt like it and be just fine for muscle preservation. Um, you know, right? Couldn't we? We could all do that, guys. But we're making really good time. Yeah, I mean, protein overfeeding is a nice little hack, but it's not like the massive. It's just, it can help a little bit with recomp, and it does, based on the data. But it does come at, you're gonna have to eat all that protein. You may not enjoy it, and it is not cost efficient. You know, in this current economy, it's kind of hard for me to make recommendations like that. People are still struggling. So, you know, I don't know that that's always the wisest advice. How many people are really going to budget that, you know? Hell, it would cost people less to hire me to coach them than it would be to pay for the extra protein on protein overfeeding. Jason, great video about fruits digestion. People are afraid to eat apples. It's crazy. It is crazy, right? Well, it's because people throw that term sugar out too much as a general term, and they're not understanding our concerns with sugar have nothing to do with the fact that they're simple carbohydrates so much as everything to do with the fact of fructose reaching the liver. That's the big issue, right? I don't know what that means, Truth Finder. You're gonna have to be, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Burke Hut is. All right. All right. So why would I have thoughts on that? So yeah, I don't have thoughts on that at all. Why would I? All right. Julie and Bernie, there's a multiple long-term study saying that the more fruits, vegetables, and nuts you eat, the longer you live. Yep, pretty much, Julian. That's pretty much what the research shows, doesn't it? So what does that tell us? All right, so it's probably a pretty good idea. Yep. I mean, yeah, but that's the general idea. Well, a better way to look at it, the larger percentage of your calories that come from those foods, probably the better off you are, you know. But it's fairly hard to get fat eating those things. I mean, peanut butter, yeah, but eating nuts and fruit and vegetables, pretty difficult to overeat, right? Yeah, Paul, I do a pound of broccoli every day alone right now, minimum of a pound, if not usually more. But then I do, right now I do every day. I do broccoli, spinach, peppers, and avocado at the moment. All right. That's how we do it. Oh. All right. So, all right. Ever doing videos about meal prep? No, I don't know how useful my information would be on that. Because I don't meal prep. I mean, the only thing I prep is my meat. Like, I cook my meals during the day. Like, I don't cook my food the day before I eat it. So even during my fasted window, like, I put my Instapot on an hour and a half before I'm gonna eat. And then I run it again later. So I cook twice a day. I don't think that counts as meal prep. Plus, I've worked from home as a self-employed for so long. I've never, like, meal prepping is not really something I do personally. I do tons of videos on it. I mean, and I even document it. I mean, I document all my food on social media. Keep in mind, outside of these lives, YouTube is not my main platform. You guys don't seem to realize that. A lot of people don't realize that. They think of me as a YouTuber. I'm a Facebook. So I do 10 times as much stuff on Facebook as YouTube. If you take the lives aside right now, everything I do on YouTube goes to Facebook. Half of it goes to Instagram. I spend 10 times as much time doing Facebook every day as I do YouTube. Facebook is my main platform, really. But because right now they're not giving me ads in lives and I have a smaller audience on lives there for now, I'm doing a lot of lives here. But I do lives in Facebook every day too. Yeah, my Facebook's linked underneath every one of my videos. The page is slow right now, but it'll pick up. I've been talking with my business support there because I have a business profile with them. So I have a Meta verified business page. Julian. Besides olive oil now, processed oils, processed sugars. Yep. But let's be fair, all those others, the seed oils are probably the least harmful out of everything you listed. And that's just based on data. And I'm not telling you to consume seed oils, but ultimately, they're not the demon they've been made out to be. All the other stuff is way objectively worse. Bacon, butter, processed red meats, refined sugars, objectively worse. Objectively worse. But I'm also not telling you to eat seed oils. I'm just saying if we go off the evidence, they've been overly demonized when they're only probably slightly bad. Does that make sense? They're on the least end of the bad stuff by themselves. But I'm not saying you should be standing around adding them to everything either, so let me be clear. All that other stuff, definitely garbage though. Are nuts the best fat source? I mean, fatty fish can be too. But generally nuts, avocados are great. I mean, olives are great though. I mean, we could make a good case for extra virgin olive oil in spite of being some processing still pretty dang healthy, right? I don't eat fast food. If I do, it would be a cheat meal. So if I'm gonna do something like that, it'd be Chick-fil-A or something. I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a while. But I can usually make Chick-fil-A fit into my food if I have to, my calories, if I'm out somewhere. Yeah, I do avocados every day. All right. And when I finish my cut, I could add more nuts and stuff into my diet. I need to have a fair amount of carbs right now because my activity level is so high. Carbs have to play a dominant role. All right, we're getting a bar. That's not good. But we're also approaching an hour on this one. Yep. Coach does training near what? True Finder. Were you high when you wrote that? You guys want to see the birds? Oh, he flew away. There was a cardinal on the ground. Without carbs, we will look small. Yeah. That's also helping keeping the carbs so dominant. It's keeping me looking full in spite of getting leaner. Right? All right. Favorite carb sources? I don't have favorites. I find brown rice really effective on a cut. I like white rice too. Potatoes are great. But to say we have a favorite, I mean, they're just all convenient and they work. I mean, all carbs taste good. I know it sounds crazy, but plastic releases chemicals when it's heated. Why are we talking about heating plastic? Who's heating plastic? Why are you heating plastic at all? I don't track my macros, track my calories. Right? I mean, I could ballpark it. 50, 60 grams of fat, 200 grams of protein. This is all give or take 10 to 15%. 3,000 calories right now, roughly. Getting your walk in before Satan turns up the heat. Oh, dude, we're over 2 hours in of cardio already. The vino, calories and protein, then fill the rest with fat and carbs. Yeah, fill them with healthy carbs, healthy fats. Yeah, I know what macros are, Julian. I'm saying I don't track my exact macros. Are you telling him what macros are? Can I get to an advanced level? Yeah, you can. You just have to be careful on how you program it. You can do it. You just have to be cognizant of potential for overuse in certain areas. Totally doable. I mean, I did it before, right? That's why I'm messing with it again now. I'm back to full body 3 days. I did it 5 days this week. I'm gonna do 3 days next week and run it there for my cut. I mean, I've squatted over 500 before doing full body, 3 days a week. So I've literally done that. So of course it can be done. Unless we don't consider a 500 squat to be advanced with no wraps or sleeves. I think it counts as advanced, but maybe I'm naive. Training to failure. A lot of nuance to that question. I don't recommend failure on any movement you can get pinned on. It's demoralizing, so no. I generally recommend sticking to training to failure to smaller exercises. I think most big movements need to be about 1 to 0 reps in reserve, particularly stuff that you can get pinned on like a bench or a squat. Small exercises, yeah, I think are fine. Most stuff 0 to 1 rep in reserve, but small exercises up to close to failure or to failure, perfectly fine. Curls, laterals, calf raises, basically isolation work, I think. But keep in mind, failure doesn't cause muscle growth. People do need to grasp that. That is a misnomer, misconception. The rep you fail on doesn't have any training stimulus. You don't grow from it. You grow from the rep before failure. But the rep you fail on, you fail because you're not recruiting the fast twitch fibers anymore. Therefore, there's no growth stimulus. If you train too far from failure, you have to have more volume. You have to optimize growth. So it just makes sense to get really close to failure. As long as your last rep is a little slow, you're in a good spot. The bar speed slows. No, we're just gonna call all natural from now on. Coaches, all natural. All natural, baby. Full natty, bro. Just like everybody. Everybody's natural on YouTube. Right? In the words of the great, famous natural Michael Hearn, right? The greatest natural of all time, Michael Hearn said, steroids are a word the lazy use to describe the dedicated, right? Greatest natural of our time said that. What do you mean, where am I going? I'm doing cardio. I could have given you the smart ass answer that one of my family members on my dad's side would have said when I was a kid. The hell if you don't change your ways. All right, all right. So, no, you shouldn't need to bulk at all. Really, true bulks. Lean gains are totally doable. All the data now shows that. You're cutting out a bit, am I? It's my job. I'm a virtual strength and conditioning coach and a fitness content creator on the internet. I make 100% of my living coaching people or providing information online regarding fitness, strength training, lifting. Literally 100% of my income for over a decade. It's the only job I've done in that time. How's that? Do you not see the name of the channel? Why would you think I'm anything but a coach? All right. What's up, Peppermint? Peppermint, I don't know if we're going to run this one much longer. This phone, my main phone, drains way faster. It's at 48% at an hour. Stop dieting. People just eat clean. Yeah, eat clean, do your cardio. Most people will lean out, you know. But people need to eat clean all the time. News. I don't know why people eat junk. This whole counting your macros and eating junk. This would not need to happen. People wouldn't need to track their macros the way they do if they didn't want to eat garbage. Well, eating clean is dieting. True. I guess it depends on how we define dieting. I mean, that would be your diet. By dieting, I guess he means everyone trying to lose to restrictive foods, whatever. It's easy, but not. What do you mean? It's not simple. Eating clean is super easy and super simple. No, we didn't whoosh. I think the creatine and extra salt have kept me here for the week. So I'm just going to keep up in the cardio, go hard in this fasted cardio until we do whoosh. So just got to stay on top of it. Coach says, I don't know, it depends on what's in it. Why do you guys ask vague questions? You need to be asking me the individual foods. Like, I generally wouldn't throw breads in as being healthy. How can I gain weight without gaining fat? Gain really slow, eat a high protein diet, weight train, all good programming. You got fresh foods and people, well, not always thousands, we've selectively bred a lot of them. But yeah, exactly. Why can't you just eat the foods that humans have been eating for centuries or thousands of years? And he is right. That's just eating clean. Like, there's no reason to eat any processed stuff. I mean, yeah, protein powders and stuff have their use, but outside of that, no, just eat foods, guys. Like for me today, I'm gonna have chicken, brown rice, broccoli, spinach, peppers, avocados, a little Greek yogurt, maybe a few walnuts, you know, just food. Food. Yeah, sometimes I do protein powder sometimes. It's one of the few things I use. All right. All right. Now this one's down to 1 bar and this phone's getting lower. So I'm gonna wind this one down and then we'll probably get one more of these. So eating clean without changing calories can still yield weight loss. Well, you're gonna have higher thermic effect, so yeah. So if you're at maintenance eating junk food and you switch to all clean food, you will start losing weight. Right? Because it will change your calories out. He's right. So, time to wind this down, and we'll get another one here soon.